So, you just started using LinkedIn Premium. Now what? Well, on your premium company page, you noticed around 7.5 times more page engagement and 5 times more page views. Well done. And now, new clients are messaging you. All because you're using LinkedIn Premium, which helps you get the business growth you want. Think big, small business. Think big. Start your free trial at linkedin.com/premium small business. That's linkedin.com/premium small business.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
This episode is brought to you by Greenlight. Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/Spotify. Greenlight.com/Spotify.
Mega is an improvised satire from the staff of a fictional megachurch.
We are here, Lord, we are here, and we're ready to podcast.
Hiya, I'm Hallie Labont, and this is Mega, coming to you from Twin Hills Community Church, where every single week we're giving our mega church a tiny family feel. We love to introduce you to members of our church staff and people from our community, and I always find it to be a treat and a treasure. And per usual, I'm joined by my co-host. He's the youth pastor for our high school ministry called Climax. Please welcome Gray Haas.
God is good all the time, Hallie. How are you?
Too blessed to be stressed, too anointed to be disappointed, and way too grateful to be hateful. Well, just like Jesus had his foot washed by Mary Magdalene, a woman of the night, our guest today has dabbled in the flesh trade, now redeemed. It's my pleasure to introduce Paula Poundlove. How you doing today, Paula?
So grateful to be here. Thank you so much. The two of you, the way you brought me in to your church and really showed me the way. I thank the Lord. And I thank you so much.
Oh, Paula, it is
treat.
just, you are the first, and I don't know really, what's the word to use for what you used to do?
I was a hooker.
Oh, okay.
They call them sex workers now. And I was always, I know now from the two of you who've taught me so much, I was always under the Lord's tutelage. And so I didn't provide every service, but I made my way in Methuen, where I was raised, Methuen, Mass. I made my way as a sex worker from the time I was pretty young, until I really wasn't turning as many tricks as some of the girls. And so I made my way, across the country, and that's when I came to Indiana. Excuse me.
Oh, wow. Your testimony's beautiful.
That's when I met the two of you. And Gray, you'll remember I came on to you just outside of the church, and you resisted. Right. You remained strong, and you told me, what the Lord had planned for me.
Yes, I did. Awesome. And, it was awesome, Hallie, because, I had never been approached by a prostitute before, but luckily I had absolutely no interest. But what I was able to do is really...
You did by that point in my career. I just want you to know, Gray, that doesn't make you any way less of a man. Not that many people did have an interest in me, and at that point I really was lost.
Yeah, and you were actually saying you were lost in the parking lot, wasn't that right?
I was also lost in the parking lot. You know where? Okay, so you know where it makes like a U-turn around the big tree?
Right.
Oh, yeah, out by the pole barn.
In the annex,
Yeah,
Exactly. Near the barn and the annex. And I drove in circles for like hours before I saw Gray. And and of course I approached him.
Right. And I saw the car doing circles around the tree and for hours. And I was looking out my office window going, I wonder if the steering had gotten stuck. I wasn't quite sure, but it just seemed like maybe you had not made a decision, not only about where you were lost, but also in your life. And I think that was a great metaphor of what you were even up to.
Oh my God. I had not thought of that. Yes, that's what it was. It was a metaphor. I had not seen it that way until, you know what, that is the thing, Hallie and Gray, about being under your tutelage. I just have learned so much about how to get around that tree, for one thing, but also just about the Lord's plan for me and things like that metaphor. Wow. That's like a lightning bolt just hit me. Can you see how I'm trembling?
Yeah. Oh, that is.
Yeah. And I want to thank you so much because you gave me a purpose. I am the first aid. I run the first aid center at the church. And not all churches have first aid centers,
right?
But you all had a number of mishaps over the years, and so I've been there to help and really save lives the way the two of you saved my life.
Oh, Paula.
It is just so nice.
It's such a pleasure because I feel like the Lord's hand has been on you your whole life, even when you were doing those gruesome acts, but you know what?
The Lord's hand was on me then, I'll tell you. I'm not sure that I would have gone nothing. I'm not sure. Yeah, the Lord's hand was definitely on me. He had a plan. He had a long range plan. He said, first you do, some jobs and then, it's step by step. And I don't think I could have gone down on that many men without the Lord's plan.
Okay.
Well, yeah. And you know what? All those acts are covered in the blood, which sounds messy, but actually cleans them up, because of the way, what Christ did on the cross works and all that. And I'll tell you what, Paula, as a word basket of encouragement to you, I'll tell you that when Jesus was hanging on the cross, I guarantee you what came to mind that day while he was hanging there, he was picturing you with these fellas. He was picturing all those, hour-long rental hotel rooms and back seats of old beat-up cars, and he was picturing all of it, and that's why
the vans.
He stayed
Did he picture the vans? Because I was in a lot of vans.
Passenger vans, minivans, Sprinter vans.
What about the trucks with the seat, like the extra seat just behind the cab?
A back cab
Did he picture
van.
that?
Yeah, I'm sure 18-wheelers if you ever were doing the truck stops.
I did some. Sammy, I did.
Okay,
I did.
Hallie, I don't want to go through all the different vehicles that Christ might have been picturing and all the things that were being done in there. But what we can say is that now Paula is here. She's running the first aid station.
Yep.
And I just think that's so positive, isn't it? That you are able to give aid just like Mary Magdalene did in the Bible to Jesus when she, did what
when she washed his feet with her perfume
and other things that I'm sure she did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did feet. Very similar. Mary Magdalene really laid, I'm standing on the shoulders, so to speak, of Mary Magdalene.
Big shoulders.
Because she really did. She was ahead of her time in terms of sex work.
This episode is brought to you by Temptations Cat Treats. Your cat will come running for the perfectly irresistible Temptations Creamy Puree and Temptations Lickable Spoon Cat Treats. The best time to feed lickable cat treats to your cat is anytime. Feed by hand for a playful moment, in a bowl for a creamy treat, or as a topper to make mealtime fun. Visit TemptationsTreats.com to learn more.
Smart Water Alkaline with antioxidant. 9.5 plus pH, now in cans.
Refreshing.
Made for every way you move.
Should I run a marathon?
Let's start with finishing that water. Smart Water Alkaline with antioxidant, now in a sleek can. For those with a taste for taste. Grab yours today.
You don't have enough funds for a lot of the materials that we need there in the first aid center.
Oh,
But
really?
one of the-
What kind of things are you seeing?
Well, the other day, a youngster paper cut themselves on one of the slim pages of the hymnal while she was flipping through because the whole church had started singing. And she started late because she couldn't find the page. And so she was flipping through really fast. And she got a paper cut.
Right.
And it was a little bloody, not horrible, but a little bloody. And I didn't have a bandage or gauze. But what's perfect about working within your church, and I cannot thank you enough for bringing me into your church.
It's okay, yeah. It's okay.
But what was perfect was some of the people in the front pews had rent their garments. And so I was able to take the rented garments and make a bandage for the youngster.
Right.
And
where were they renting them from?
no, not renting. They rented. They were tearing them during the service. That was so meaningful. No, not
the runway?
Yeah, I'm doing Rent the Runway, and I really like it.
Oh my God! Oh, the Lord is the Lord loves a joke.
Now, Paula, I do want to ask. It seems, and I don't want to give any advice, but I love to.
You know what? Your advice has been so. I don't know where I would be without your advice. Because I remember with the day we met. You said,
that was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you said just make a right and park and come on in. And without that advice, I would still be driving around that tree, or I might have made it out of the parking lot and into the downtown area where I could have made a little bit. You know what I mean? Continued.
Right.
In the steps of Mary Magdalene.
And what is it about the crying that is? It seems like you're someone that is always kind of on the verge of tears. Is that a prostitute thing?
I don't think so. It's really since the two of you, my beloveds, have changed my life in such a way. I was a hard person when I was in Methuen. I've been through so much. I've been through so much. I'll be honest with you. Not every man wanted me to know him. So sometimes I had to be aggressive.
Wow.
And I've just been through so much that I really was not a person who became emotional in the past. But since I have known the two of you, I have gone through a lot of tissues.
Yes,
I think that's the Holy Spirit working on your heart. He's softening you
I
up,
know.
Paula.
And you told me
sure
sometimes you would pay the men to go away, that you would pay them.
I did. I paid them. Well, I paid especially some of the men that I met in the beginning, because there is a learning curve. And so some of the men that I met in the beginning, where the quality wasn't there, if you know what I mean. And so, I would pay them. Because I knew it was going to come back to me many-fold. And this whole thing, when I think about the other day when the youth fellowship did their reenactment of the loaves and fishes.
Yes.
That was awesome.
And Travis Bola choked on a fishbone and could have died if I had not been there.
That is right.
And that is because of you, Gray, and you, Hallie. I just can't thank you enough. And I know that when he recovers fully, Travis will thank you. There was a puncture. There was a puncture right through his, windpipe.
Almost like he got a tracheotomy out of nowhere.
Yeah.
An inadvertent tracheotomy from the inside.
Honestly, it was god awful. Fortunately, I had some tongs, like some, some tongs, like from the
barbecue.
Yes, barbecue tongs, and I was able to shove them down Travis's throat and pull out one of those fish bones.
Yeah, we really need to maybe outfit the first aid station with a bit more
we need to get
product.
more budget for you. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, proves, Paula, you are proof that God works in mysterious ways, because I can't imagine any other profession besides the flesh trade really preparing you for a life in first aid, because you're going to see some stuff, aren't you? And I'm sure you have.
Yeah. I'm telling you, if any man passes out during the sermon, and I know that's likely to happen because you are sharing God's word, and that can cause an emotional reaction. I mean, I know it can cause an emotional reaction?
Oh, babe. Yeah.
Do we have any more tissues, Hallie?
Oh, here's some tissues.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You know what? We might want to get them from Costco.
Yeah,
No, not
from
Costco, because of
I need to rend some
because of the DEI thing. So don't get them
Okay.
from Costco, but do get them from Target. Get like a big box. Go to a big box store and get a lot of tissues, because the last couple of weeks have been so fraught, with emotion. Fraught, I think is the right word.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put you on the top of my prayer list, and I'm going to pray for you every morning that God rains down blessings on you, because you've had a hard life. And also, I got to tell you, Paula, I'm glad you're here personally and selfishly, because the way you've been clipping that weird baby toenail I have, it's a claw that I haven't been able to function with in years on end. Don't know what to do with it. You said, let me have a look at it. And I can get my tootsies into a closed-toe shoe now for the first time in years. I've been walking around in open Birkenstocks in the snow.
I did. And it's my pleasure. I mean, nothing gives me more pleasure than helping heal you the way you have healed me. And I'm sure because that was a snaggly toenail. It was sharp. It was sharp.
It was a shard. I don't know what in the heck I'm growing down there. It's disgusting.
Okay.
It's like
I can't imagine the linens
claw.
you destroyed and the damage you did to partners over the years.
Just getting in the sheets in my king size bed with a bare foot. I'm just slicing up my top sheet.
Yeah, I can hear the ripping, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the quality weave of the linen if you got a snaggle toenail like that, which is why I said, let me add it, with these clippers.
Now, I just,
so helpful.
it's kind of is reminding me of kind of the truck talk, which is, maybe we've got enough about Hallie's toenail, but I did want to ask you.
Well, did you ever see it, Gray? Did you ever see that toenail?
Well, it's like forked. Would you say it's forked, Paula? It's almost like
I would say it was forked. I would say it was forked. Did you ever see it, Gray?
Yeah, I really, she keeps trying to show it to me, and I really don't want to see it.
Well, I don't, I mean, it's not like she's standing in the corner showing it to everybody. I think that is an intimate, that's a way of her being close to you, because it was something that she at one time considered a disability.
Yep.
Oh, is that why you put the blue tag in your car, Hallie?
Yeah. I don't have to park all the way out in the K parking lot no more.
Oh no, you can park anywhere you want now. You don't have limited parking. You can walk a long distance to the church, or or you can park beside the other disabled people. You have the option.
Yeah.
You
have the option.
I was just kind of thinking and ruminating, and now that you're on the other side of this life that was, obviously really challenging and not
great.
walking.
It was very, very
Christ
challenging. I mean, when you think about it, in order for me to cut Hallie's really gross toenail,
it's just
I had to have been through a lot in order to not freak out. You know what I mean? Or gag. Or gag, like the way Travis did with the fish bone stuck in his. We almost lost that kid.
Body horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, Paula, you're not only strong of character to be able to do all these gross things that only ER doctors can do, you're also extremely physically strong. You wore a sleeveless shirt the other day. Paula's ripped.
Right.
I mean, she's like prison ripped.
And a lot of people
Are
were
we allowed
talking
to
about
say
that shirt, weren't they, Paula?
My shirt?
Yeah. I mean,
The
just
one-
for church, I wouldn't, a wintertime
The sleeveless
shirt,
one
yeah,
with
when
the,
I said that
it
might
was a
not
little
be,
transparent in the front.
I would say more than, it was kind of opaque, yeah.
Well, Gray, my body is the Lord's temple.
Yep, that is right, Paula.
And say the Lord wanted into the temple, right?
Uh-huh.
The Lord's standing at the temple door. Well, what does he
Uh-huh.
need? Knockers.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
The Bible even says he stands at the door and knocks.
Well, and I said that, Hallie, and I, when I mentioned to Paula, maybe, your body is God's temple, she also said, well, why would I keep the walls blank? Which I guess explains all the tattoos that you were kind of showing off with that shirt as well.
I do. I have some tattoos. Again, Gray, I lived a different life.
I know, and there's no judgment. I just don't want to see them all the time.
But now, I don't know if you can see here,
Right.
but right
okay.
up top
Not-
of
yep,
my
yep,
right
yep,
breast. I mean,
yep,
just
yep.
north of my nipple.
Yeah, I can't.
I have
Hallie,
a silhouette of Hallie, and then over on this side, on my
I know.
left breast, I have a silhouette of you, Gray.
Oh my goodness, those are likenesses are amazing.
I'm not looking, Hallie.
And they were
this
very
is
expensive, but you know what? It was worth it to me because I honor the two of you, and I
Well,
think
wow.
this one. You see where Gray's nose is here on
Yeah,
the
I
left.
can't. I'm not
breast?
going to look at that.
It's just
Hallie.
it's beginning to heal, and there was a little bit of oozing for a while, but fortunately, I had the rent garments.
Right. Well,
And
where
I
are you
was
getting the
able-
money for expensive tattoos right now?
I did one or two more jobs downtown. It was
well, it's covered in the blood. It's why
Well, that
Jesus hung
explains all
on
the
that
crying.
cross. It really is.
I hoped I wouldn't have to tell you that, but
Well-
you just
Well, I
the
don't
way
know why I
Gray
asked.
Gray came at me with the questions, and I think it's good. I think
Well,
it's
there
good
was a lot
because
coming at me right there that I didn't want to
Well,
look
you
at.
know what? Alcoholics fall off the wagon all the time, and you just get right back up, Paula.
you know what
You're
I
gonna
do
be
when
okay.
the alcoholics fall off the wagon is I
What?
go and grab their drink. Because,
Yeah, that's a free drink.
because I jump right on the wagon and I drink what they had there before they fell off. It's
What is the wagon in this metaphor? Because I'm kind of getting lost in the metaphor, sort of like you got lost around the tree before.
Oh, was I lost around that tree?
Oh my God.
Well, it's a roundabout out there, and I never know what to do in any roundabout, honestly.
No one does.
No.
No one does. I leave it up to the Lord. I've been in a lot of traffic accidents because what I do when I pull into a roundabout, I just take my hands off the wheel.
Oh, wow.
And I leave it up to the Lord.
So good, so good, so good.
Get ready, cause Clear the Rack is on at your Nordstrom Rack store. Now through Monday, find incredible deals on Wear Now styles. On sale for even less at Nordstrom Rack. Take an extra 25% off red tag clearance throughout the store from brands like Free People, Steve Madden, Vince, and more. All sales final. The best stuff goes fast. So shop this sale at Nordstrom Rack today. Please see NordstromRack.com or ask a store associate for details.
The Lord wanted me to knock this one kid down, and I did. But fortunately, I have my first aid skills, and so I was able to resuscitate her.
Oh, thank God.
And
I mean, isn't it a bit strange though that you're from Massachusetts, but you never really knew how to drive at a roundabout?
Oh, are they from out east?
I didn't. Honestly, I didn't have a car when I lived in Massachusetts, so I saw the roundabouts, from a distance, and my heart. When I saw people go through them, when I saw people in cars, for that matter, my heart was filled with envy. Sometimes I'm not proud of that.
In Australia, actually, Hallie, we don't have roundabouts.
Is that right?
Yeah, because everything there is opposite. We actually we go the other way around.
So you go down?
You go backwards?
You go backwards, or you drive the other way around, and it's actually a square. And we call them a squareabout.
Squareabout, yes.
So in the same way that the water goes down the drain in the opposite way in Australia, you enter a roundabout backwards and it turns into a square?
Yeah, well, some people would just call it driving around the block here, but we call it a squareabout.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, was that developed by the Aboriginal people?
Probably not aboriginally.
Oh, okay. Or the kangaroos?
Possibly.
Oh, I love a kangaroo. A kangaroo is as ripped as you, Paula. I mean, I was gonna ask if the work is physically strenuous.
What was that sound, Hallie?
Well, the work, that she used to.
Well, because we're on a recording, and Hallie was trying to honor the listener.
I didn't want to, pardon my French, for sex work.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you found it real physically challenging, because I've never seen arms like yours. You have that cut in between your tricep and bicep. You've got all these beautiful sinewy muscles sticking out. You even have like a strong forearm. Were you having to like plank over a lot of these fellas? Or
I did a lot. A lot of times I do. I offer a service where I plank, and the guys love it. And also some of those protuberances, can be large. Like a
I can't.
Oh no! Like what? Like a Coke can?
What? No, Hallie.
No, more like a tree trunk. I mean large.
No.
I mean large. Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah. Like who's the golfer? Who's the golfer that the president bless his heart?
Greg Norman?
Arnold Palmer.
Isn't that funny that his name is Palmer? Isn't that funny? That's a funny coincidence, because let me tell you, it should have been Palmser, because it would take two hands to get, what I'm.
You wouldn't even be able to palm that thing.
Oh my gosh. No, not at all. Not at all.
And definitely don't need to know the answer to that. But what one
Gray,
thing.
have you ever seen it? Did you ever see Arnold Palmer's,
Absolutely not. I would never look at that. And I don't even know what we're talking about.
Is it possible to see it? Is he still alive?
Well, there's a tour, one of those late night tours where they take people to the graveyards and stuff like that. Really? And they dig them up and look at, Old Glory. They call it Old Glory.
Oh, wow.
Now, did you ever run into any trouble in the times where you were paying men that you were essentially putting them a target on their backs, weren't you, when it came to law enforcement? Because by paying them, you're essentially turning them into sex workers.
Oh, wow.
Which I think is, that seems like it could be problematic.
Oh my God, I had never thought of it that way.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I had never thought that I was putting them in harm's way.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Again, Gray, you enlighten me. Can you see my color? Can you see that I get a brighter color when I'm around you? Because you enlighten me. You were like, I had never even thought of that. You're such a, you so clearly are one of God's children.
Yep. A man of God.
I would say, a man of God. Yes, that's exactly right.
And
a man
I always
of
find
God.
men of God, it's so helpful that when they explain the female experience to me.
Absolutely.
I find it so helpful. And you know what, Paula, as long as I have a professional here on my hands, I wanted to ask you, because I walked in on my kids in the TV room the other night watching Pretty Woman, and they said, Mom, it's an oldie. And I said, I don't think so. I think this is, about a guy who stumbles in the flesh and who I think it's about, and I said, you got to turn it off. And the kids said, no, Mom, she's got a heart of gold and it's a redemption story. And I just was wondering, how accurate is Pretty Woman to, the experience in general of dabbling in the flesh trade?
Well, I never did it with Richard Gere.
Oh.
So I can't really speak to that part of it. I can say this. We women in the sex trade, hookers, don't sit on the table when we eat. And that was very inaccurate.
Okay.
And honestly, the men that we, they don't marry us. They don't. I mean, that's partly why I made my way from Methuen to Indiana, because I was lost. I had no connection. I had, what you have there is not real. It's Gray, I'm so glad that you turned me down.
I would every single time.
Well, let's cross that bridge. Let's not. We don't have to predict the future.
Yeah,
I think at the time it was good that you turned me down.
I'm not going to. You've been looking for ways to support Mega, and those ways exist in the show notes. Go check it out. Hey, that was the inimitable Paula Poundstone. She is at Paula Poundstone and has a great podcast. Nobody listens to Paula Poundstone, so go check that out. And hey, drop us a rating and review, or send this episode to a friend who might need it. Every little bit helps. And thanks.